You're encouraging him by talking about him.
I am encouraging him. I really am encouraging him, and I shouldn't.
When something's bad, Jiggy makes it worse.
Yeah. Thank you. Speaking of making things worse, I can tell my story now. By the way, let's see. 3:20, or 20 minutes after the hour, second hour. Carrabba's. Not the band. No, the actual band. Not the restaurant, as I was going to say. Carrabba's Barbaras.
Wow.
I think that's how you pronounce her name. They're going to call us at 45 after. So we have 2 segments we have to fill, and we will fill them, and I'll fill them with stories.
When is Reamer going to be on?
I am waiting on him to answer his Skype.
We got to get that steampunk girl on.
She is out of her mind.
I tried messaging her.
I just got my steampunk outfit, but I didn't want to waste it.
She is out of her mind. She was obsessed with the fact that Twitter was down overnight. She said, your Twitter doesn't work. And I said, I know. Twitter was out overnight. Well, your social media links don't work. I'm like, I can't do anything about the fact that Twitter's entire website was down. Okay.
It's your fault. It's your fault. The entire Twitter was down.
Yeah, but there's other social media places to reach people.
Let me tell you the story that I was going to say earlier.
Let's hear the story.
Social media character assassination. We'll start there.
Might have to change your name.
Let's see. I think I'll tell the Barb Squirrely.
SMA, social media assassin.
The Barb Squirrely story is what we'll tell. We'll start there. Barb Squirrely. Her name is Barb Shirley, but Ross referred to as Barb Squirrely.
Squirrely sounds cool.
Barb Squirrely. She was running for. She was a city commissioner in Salina, and Ross and I have been on the head. We have been on the head of various trends in the world, along with Seth Stevens out of Wichita. But one of the early trends of Facebook is that Facebook didn't allow, like for instance, our Facebook page is facebook.com/the Jiggy Jaguar. Okay, that's easy, simple, all that stuff. Well, Facebook business pages, Facebook fan pages, when they first started, they didn't have that simple part of it. It was you had to look up somebody on Facebook. Look up, for instance, if we'll say Michael Nagy Photography. Okay, if I'm instead of saying Facebook.com/whatever, it was always just search me on Facebook. You'd see all these movies that used to say search us on Facebook. So, what we did one time was we figured we'd let people take advantage of that searching people on Facebook. Well, Barb Shirley, at one point, she had a allegedly, we'll say allegedly, so I don't get sued.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But we know it's true.
Allegedly, she was a drunk, basically, and Ross went in and he created a Facebook page, Barb Shirley, Drunken City Commissioner.
Yes.
So people would go in and they would search Barb Shirley, and that was always the first thing that would pop up. Well, a little bit of details on this. We created the Facebook page at a McDonald's in Salina. We created the actual page at the McDonald's in Salina. We would check the page from another McDonald's in Salina, because all the McDonald's have Wi-Fi. And Ross is paranoid, plus he's a pot smoker, so it's even worse.
That's why he moved to Oklahoma or Colorado.
So what we would do is we would go check these pages. Well, Barb one time decided that she had figured out who had created this Drunken City Commissioner fan page. She was going to get me. She had thought it was my fault. So she calls me one day. Now, this is when I was still living in the treehouse apartment across the street from the police station.
Living in the treehouse.
The most ridiculous apartment that I've ever lived in. It was actually one of the funnest apartments that I ever lived in. What's funny is that I lived in... This is a side issue here. I lived in a basement. And then I ended up living in this treehouse. And there was this group of chicks who had a show in Wichita. They, of course, are no longer anywhere because they're idiots and they blew themselves out. Literally and figuratively. And they used to refer to it as Grandma's Attic. And I'm like, what? I didn't live in Grandma's attic. First of all, if I lived in Grandma's attic, it would have heat. It would have better heat than I had. Well, I shouldn't say that because this place didn't have the greatest heat in the world. But, white trash apartments across the country and around the world. So Barb Shirley decided to call me one day. She called me from a unknown number. And it was right before the radio show. So I was waiting on Ross to show up, and the rappers, of course, were booked, but the rappers were not going to show up until an hour into the show. And this was long before we figured out at the Salina Police Department that all the rappers got out at noon from their offenses that they had on Saturday evenings so they could come do the radio show. And so what we did is she calls me, and she goes, Jiggy, starts going off on me. She goes, I know you created that Facebook page. I said, oh, okay. She goes, we've traced the IP address. And the cops are on their way. And I thought, okay. So I walked downstairs and stood in the front yard. And looked across the street. Never seen the cops show up. Well, first of all, if she traced the IP address, it would have traced it to a McDonald's somewhere in fucking Salina. Not even there right now.
That's hilarious.
Second, I'm across the street from the police station. So
the bottom line, do all your shady business.
Do all your shady business at different IP addresses. That's the bottom line. Do them at McDonald's.
You do know this is on the radio, right?
I don't do shady business anymore at McDonald's, so I don't care.
He goes to Wendy's now.
I go to Wendy's. Goddamn right. Or Arby's. I got the roast beef sandwiches over there.
Oh, my God.
But, no, what you do is you go get one of those hide IP things where you, like, log in Romania. So then the cops
show up at someone else's house.
Show at somebody's house in Romania. Or do like Ross used to do. He would do he didn't want to leave the house, so what he would do is he had like these 5 neighbors that lived around him that had unsecured internet. So he just logged into their fucking and he always thought if somebody ever fucking calls anybody or whatever, they'll go to their house. But that's a little inside baseball, a little behind the scenes for what we used to do as social media assassins. But believe me, there's a story, and I'm not going to tell it on the air, but I will tell it off the air. It is... I should probably be burning in hell for this. And I am one of these people that I feel bad because we were friends. And I still feel bad because we're still friends. But Jesus Christ, it was fun. We caused all sorts of hell to this woman. And anybody who kind of follows the show or knows what's going on, they know who I'm talking about. But and what's kind of bad about it is I think after we caused all the problems that we did cause to this woman, I think she flipped out mentally. I think it was just over. I think she flipped her lid, and she had one to flip. So, but
now you're just trying to get more people to tune in to figure out who it is, trying to get the ratings up.
We won't get into that here. Oh, I feel bad. But what I also feel bad about is the fact that she had got the FBI involved, and they showed up at. But I've said too much.
Obviously.
She called the fucking FBI. She called the KBI.
Now it's getting good.
They all showed up out of nowhere. It's like, what?
SWAT team at your door.
Oh, not exactly SWAT team at the door, but there was a guy. I think I've told this story before. Jennifer the Hood Rat's dad. He lived in the apartments that are right outside here, and when I lived in the Swiss Army apartment in D. There had been a woman, and maybe I haven't told you this story because this is ridiculous. This is right up your alley, Michael Nagy ridiculousness. This is a story I can tell, as I told it 2 or 3 times. After I left the Swiss Army apartment, my landlords, of course, are always. In fact, we'll do this. Let's start.